Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Casual Football Friends Show. I'd say episode. This is like an emergency episode because some pretty big fucking news has come in over the last couple of days, and I think we need to discuss it.
As Leicester City fans, we can't not discuss this.
No.
Yeah, and this is Zane. I'm Taryn.
Oh yeah, hi. Yeah, in case you've watched the first four episodes without picking up on our names.
Yeah, but let's get straight to it.
Yes.
Because it's huge news.
It is huge news. So, if you've been living under a rock for the last few days, Leicester City have officially been acquitted of the PSR charge, meaning that they're not going to be getting a points deduction this season.
No, they're not. Which is, for Leicester fans, is great.
Yes, and it is huge news and has a lot of implication when it comes to the, general bottom half of the table, and I'm assuming it's going to cause a lot of beef between Premier League clubs.
Yes.
It's an interesting development, one that I can safely say I think no Leicester fans saw coming. We all assumed we'd be getting a at least 6-point deduction. We were all coming into the season thinking, pessimistic glasses on the entire way, going at the very best it'll be a 6-point deduction, at our worst it'll be 15 points. We assumed, we knew going in, we were like this, and I think the club knew going in, everybody associated with Leicester,
we were writing other people have written us off, and we were writing ourselves off before the season even started, all because of this points deduction, because we didn't know. When we've even talked about it, we didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know whether it was going to be 6 points, whether it was going to be 10 points. Some people were talking about 15 points. And it was like, we thought, well, is there even any point playing this season?
Exactly.
So, but now it's put us in a position where it's like, okay, now we've got to actually just start performing, because we can't blame that now.
Oh my God, I was saying to my brother, if we get relegated now, it'd be so embarrassing.
I know, now we'd look really shit. Now we actually have to stay up.
Yeah, now we actually have to stay up. Now we have to actually put our money where our mouth is, because this is a bailout. Yeah. The best way I can describe it. It's a bailout. It's as if we've gone deep into bankruptcy as a business, and the government has gone, here is a fresh bailout, you're all good. That's basically the equivalent in terms of football. And yeah, man, there's a lot of opinions about this, especially online, but not just online, a bit pundits and
on TalkSport, Simon Jordan, you dick. You've been saying a lot of stuff about, and basically the situation, which is why he's pissed off, and I can kind of get it, is the way Leicester beat this. If I remember correctly, is they had to put in their accounts by, I think it was June the 30th.
So they had to put in their accounts by June the 30th, but they officially transferred their shares to Luton or to one of the promoted clubs on June the 13th. So the argument was that they'd already transferred the shares, meaning that once they actually submitted their accounts, they weren't actually a Premier League club.
Yeah, on technicalities, they weren't a Premier League club. And they did the same thing when they left the Championship as well. So... And it's true what they were saying, that Leicester, due to their relegation, actually saved themselves from this point deduction. And some people I brought up Simon Jordan. He was getting all, and I sent you the link to it as well. He was getting all oh God, this is terrible. Oh, this is what Leicester have done. What I say, this is actually a win for the lawyers and everything. I'm like, well, it is, because if this is happening to your club, if you're Cuntop right now, and you know your club's going to go into the shit for this, are you just going to sit back and be like,
no,
let it happen?
And I think it's important to get it out there. I think every club is a business at the end of the day, and they will only ever do what is best for them. Yeah. So no matter what club it is, whether it's Leicester, whether it's Man City, whether it is United, whoever, they will always do what's best for them. It's why when they're tabling votes in the Premier League, and it's something that affects the entire league, usually you'll see a divide between the top 6 and the rest of the teams, the other 14, because it's everybody's voting for themselves. No one's going to do it because of this idea of a greater good. Because at the end of the day, they are businesses. Yeah. Leicester were fighting this cause with lawyers as you would a normal business arbitration court case.
And the thing is, though, it's like a friend said to me, he's a solicitor, and he always used to say to me, it's not about what's true. It's about what you can prove. And what Leicester's lawyers did, yes, okay, Leicester.
It's a loophole. It's a loophole.
It's a loophole.
We'll
it is
gladly
a
admit
we'll
it's a
give
loophole.
it what it is. It is
a technicality.
It's a technicality.
Loophole,
it is there. But that's what your lawyers are there to find.
Exactly.
That's what they're there. That's what you hire them. That's why they get the big bucks.
Exactly.
But it's like, yeah, okay, Leicester did make breaches. There's no doubting it. There's no doubt in that. But if you can find a technicality to get yourselves out of it, find a loophole and find a way to win, why would you not do it?
No, of course.
Of course you do it.
Again, it ties back to this. At the end of the day, it is a business.
Yeah.
And the business has to protect its own interests. It doesn't take into account, and this isn't just football when I say this. This is every single business.
Oh, every business is like this.
Yeah.
They all do it.
No, because they're machines. They're
Yeah,
not meant to. They don't. There's no moral system. Like, okay, right. So people talk about, like, for example, Disney, right?
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, they're only putting in minorities in this because they want to appeal to. No, they're doing it because they know it's going to get them the most amount of money.
Yeah. They don't care about minorities.
They don't care about anything.
They don't care about diversity quotas, but they care about diversity quotas if they can get the money out of it. Then they do it.
Because it affects their bottom line. And at the end of the day, this would have affected Leicester's bottom line. So you understand why. It's what they were basically saying to Simon Jordan. It's funny enough, Danny Murphy of all people,
I know,
defending Leicester on that one clip he sent me. But they were basically telling him, like, what would you expect Leicester to do?
Yeah, do you want to just take it?
Yeah.
You know, and then, like, they were trying to say, like, well, Simon Jordan, because he used to be owner of Crystal Palace. Yeah,
Crystal Palace.
If you were in this situation, Simon Jordan, would you do it? And he kept saying, well, I would never let us get into this situation. Like, no, but we're talking hypotheticals. If you were in this position, I would never get into that position. You know, then you kind of like, okay, now you're just discrediting yourself here, because he knows full well that he would do it.
Yeah, because he's a businessman.
Well. Yeah, he's a businessman. He knows fully well. So he's too proud to actually say that he would do it. Everyone would. We'd do it.
Yeah,
we would all do it.
Anyone with any business sense would. Anyone with any just pragmatism would.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there is no such thing as, like, this moral greater good when it comes to business. When it comes to like, you know, people's livelihoods.
Yeah, and if we were talking about, if there was morals in football, Man City would have already been punished by now. You know,
clubs wouldn't be owned by goddamn nation states.
Exactly.
They wouldn't, they wouldn't have let the whole idea of PSR being brought in, financial fair play, and be brought in, is to stop basically more occasions of Man City.
Exactly.
And Chelsea, teams.
Even Newcastle got bought by the Saudis. You know, it's like you can't have nation states owning football clubs. But this is what PSR is here to try and stop that. But then they only seem to punish the smaller clubs, and they don't go after the big ones.
But it's not even a case of, like, who they're choosing to punish. I think it's, you can't pretend that there is a single moral high ground here, to me, anyway. But, okay, moving on from, like, the ranting side of this issue, what do you think? I've got, like, a renewed vigour, renewed optimism when it comes to this season.
Are we talking about Leicester City in terms of... Are we talking about just plainly the football now?
Yeah, football.
I think we've got to start getting some wins now. We've got to start. Because we can't... I think a lot of the players, as well as the fans, even though we were making signings, we still have this mindset that we've got everything against us already.
Yeah.
We were already one of the bookies' favourites to go down. And that was literally just down to these points deductions.
Yeah.
But now we don't have that.
No.
So now it's a case of, okay, now it's down to your performance.
Mm-hmm.
So from what we've seen, and we've talked about it before, we've seen some good things from the games that we've got 2 losses and a draw. We've got 1 point so far. I'm not including the Carabao Cup. No. Let's just talk about the league.
Yeah.
We've seen some good stuff, but we need to start getting results now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We can't now, we've got no excuses here anymore. We could have easily, look, let's say this points deduction happened and we got relegated. We could have been,
it's because of the points deduction.
Because of points deduction, otherwise we would have been right up there. We can't use that now. No. Steve Cooper now has to start showing why he's now been given the job as a manager of Leicester City.
Yeah.
He's not just there to fill in the gap. We need to start seeing some goals. We need to start seeing something from the signings he's made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw who's the striker we signed?
Are you?
Yeah, are you? We saw something in the Tranmere game. Okay, we need to start seeing it in the league now.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's one of those things. Normally, like a new signing needs a little bit of time to bed in, but relegated teams, like teams who are in danger of relegation, just don't have that luxury of time. So that's why you bring in people like Ayew, who they have Premier League experience. He's got it.
We're not the Leicester from 4 or 5 seasons ago.
No,
this is the Leicester that needs to survive. So now we are going to have that extra pressure on us. There is extra pressure now because it's like, okay, you're not going to points deduction.
Everyone will be gunning for us.
Yeah, now it's like, okay.
Everyone will be wanting and actively wishing that we go down because of this. Just like everyone kind of wanted Forest to go down last season.
Yeah, everyone kind of wanted Forest to go down.
Yeah, because of the referee, hiring the referee and like the whole debacle about the owner, all of that. Wear that this season.
I think the thing is, like, if we go back to this thing, I know we wanted to move away from it, but if we go back to it again, I think Forest and Everton, I think they won't. From what I'm gathering from seeing Everton and Forest fans and seeing their reaction to it, okay, they were a little bit like, oh, but they didn't get the points deduction. But part of them was like, well, why couldn't our club have found a loophole? Why couldn't we have figured it out? And then also part of them was like, well, we can't be overly upset because we didn't get relegated.
Yeah, they could, but it's also it's a very specific scenario because again, it's only because we got relegated.
That's it. We saved ourselves by getting relegated.
But arguably, if we didn't get relegated, we would have had the money coming in the season after as well to like help at least with the losses next year.
It's a difficult one.
It's a balance. You know what? It's a balance sheet at the end of the day. Yeah. It is accounting, which is far beyond your average fan's understanding. And, everyone loves to... It's crazy to me, like, how football discourse has gone from being, your team is shit, mate.
Yeah, no.
My team is... to, like, mate, your team is making losses of 50 million and therefore you're shit. It's becoming...
We're entering the world of franchise football.
It's already franchise.
Yeah, we're in franchise football now.
Yeah.
So it's it's Leicester City Football Club, really Leicester City franchise. Man City already is a franchise. Look at it, So that's what we've entered into. So the business side of it becomes more important than the actual football sometimes. That's what it is. Unfortunately, that's what it is.
Well, that's how Man United were run for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And look where it's got them. So I don't know, man. I'm of a much more optimistic outlook. Now, but we got to see some results.
Yeah,
now. That's all we're going to ask for.
It's a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
there is a sigh of relief, but we can't harp on about it too long.
No,
we could talk about it this week, but after the international break, we got to press on.
Business time. It's go time. It's go time.
That's it. We got luckily, this has come now. Do the international break so we can let some dust settle, and then next week we just need to press on and we need to start seeing results. We need to get wins, and okay, we might not get a win against Man City or Chelsea or Arsenal. We might do about Chelsea actually.
Palace away is the next one.
Palace away is the next one. I think we've got a good shout.
They also only have the 1 point, but they got the draw at Chelsea.
That's it.
But the thing is,
but Chelsea's so up and down at the moment. Yeah. It's very difficult with them. But I think we could get a result against Palace. The current teams who are in the relegation zone, we should be getting points against those sides. Southampton, we should be getting points against them. So we need to start seeing it now. And Steve Cooper, from what we've seen so far, the football's been okay. But it's not been...
It's been about what I'd expect, to be honest. I didn't expect us to be coming like all guns blazing into this season. And I think that sort of pessimism, that pessimistic cloud that was over the whole club because of the potential breach, that was definitely affecting the team itself. Yeah. I think also the composition of the team, like when it comes to the transfer window... We obviously couldn't bring in the caliber of players that we wanted to, that we kind of needed to be able to really give ourselves a shot. But we have what we have now.
We've got what we've got, and the players we've got are still decent.
There's still good players there. Yeah. We just need the performances now.
That's it. We need to start seeing those results. Leicester's always been a team. Actually, we've always been a very good team for finding talent. We've always been able to discover, nuggets of. Gold somewhere. We've always managed to do it. Hopefully there's something like that in this team. Hopefully there's, but we just, like we've said it before, we need to see results with Palace and then whoever we get after that. We need to actually start seeing something. if we get kicked out the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I won't lose sleep over it. Because I actually don't mind them just putting out a reserve team for those, getting themselves knocked out, and just focus on the league.
I genuinely think that us getting through to like the lesser rounds in the FA Cup last season actually hindered us.
Yeah, we didn't need to be there. We needed to focus on the league.
Yeah, and we nearly botched the league as a result.
Yeah,
there's multiple factors that went into that, but I feel like that didn't help. But yeah, no, I think going into this season, let's fucking have it then.
Yeah, now it's essentially the season starts now for us, because now it's like, okay, we've got all the shit out of the way. Let's now we can start playing.
Ideally.
And I even said it at the start of the season. I say it now that I think we will survive. We're not going to get into Europe.
No.
And I think we'll barely get into mid-table.
I don't think we'll get into mid-table. No. I think if we survive, we're coming we'll be like 16,
15, 16. I think that's what we'll finish.
Yeah, and every single one of us will be happy with that.
Yeah, I'll be over the moon with that. 15, 16, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
And then next season we can start looking at, okay, who are we going to sign to press on a little bit further. At the moment, this is just survival. Yeah, Let's just survive this season, and then we can press on.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's interesting. If anybody has a chance, go watch that TalkSport clip. I mean, I wouldn't recommend watching TalkSport generally because then you watch one video, it'll always get recommended in all your feeds, and I just wouldn't stay away from any of that. I was saying to Taryn, we have the segment of the show called Clickmates.
TalkSport is all clickmates.
TalkSport is like the king of clickmates. Essentially, they are basically just a hot take factory to try and drive engagement to their channels.
And Simon Jordan is the ultimate clickmate.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of them. There's a fair few of them on that channel.
Except for Danny Murphy.
Well, I don't know.
He was alright this time.
He was alright this time.
He was alright.
But yeah. It's just, you know how much that channel annoys me, right? Like, anytime you send me a clip from them, I'm like, fuck you for even
I'm going to watch this shit.
Putting this pollution on my phone. It is such nonsense a lot of the time. But I don't know, maybe to some people what we're doing is no different.
Oh, we're clickmating all the way. But if you get a chance, go and watch it. It's, especially if you're a Leicester fan, because you kind of watch it with a little smile on your face.
Oh, I watched it with a big grin on my face. When he was going, it's like, I don't think Leicester should be ashamed of themselves.
It's like, we're not. And I was like, we're not.
No, I don't. I actually don't care. I'm pretty happy.
This is a win for the lawyers. Oh, yes, win for the lawyers, because Leicester hired the right lawyers.
Exactly. It's a win for Simon DeMarco and was it Nick DeMarco?
Whoa, whatever. I can't remember.
King's Counsel. But yeah, he's clearly earned his money, and I say fair play to him. Go have a good time with that.
Exactly, and it's like that's why they get paid to do what they do. They find a way to win, and we found a way to win against PSR.
Exactly, somehow
we did it.
The loophole city.
And what it also does, it means that the lower clubs, we can get wins like this. That's one thing I would say. Like, if there's fans out there who are a little bit miffed at Leicester, just think that Leicester have done a win for the lower clubs. So that means you could probably get a win like this as well if you just get the right lawyers to find the right things.
A part of me thinks that they're not gonna feel that way.
I hope they do.
I think they're gonna be like, this is bullshit. You've got an unfair advantage over the rest of us.
Because Leicester's part of the elite. But it does make it a bit interesting for Man City, though.
Yes,
that makes it very interesting for that.
So I was listening to a really good podcast earlier with Matt Slater and The Athletic, and it was basically saying there's such different cases when it comes to Man City and all of the other PSR breaches, because Man City isn't a PSR breach; it's a PSR breach as one of the charge.
That's just one of them. There's many others.
Essentially, they're being charged with fraud, which is categorically so much worse.
Oh yeah. So this is like a massive legal matter.
Yeah, dude, if they get found out, then it won't be you might get relegated, you might get point deductions. People will go to jail.
Yeah.
That's the severity of what we're talking about here. Do you remember Juventus when they had the Calciopoli match fixing scandal? People fucking went to jail.
Yeah, they went to jail. And Juventus nearly went into footballing wilderness at that point.
I'm sure one of their directors tried to kill himself.
Well, yeah. So the thing is, though, the situation with Juventus was so severe.
Yeah.
That it's damaged the reputation of Juventus ever since.
I think it damaged damaged the reputation of all of Italian football.
But yeah, because I think Italian football in general had issues like this. But Juventus were the first ones where they actually were able to prove a lot of it.
Yeah,
that's what it was. And you know, not to say the Premier League hasn't had this. You know, we've had loads of stuff like this, but the Italian league has had a lot of these issues. But Juventus, I remember when it happened, and Juventus just nearly became obsolete as a football club because
they got relegated to Serie B, and it's only because people like Del Piero stayed behind to help get them back up.
Yeah,
and they did rebuild, but that mark is still against
and
them.
They've never been the same club since.
Never been the same club since. They've been very successful.
Oh yeah,
but there's always been that asterisk, and I think a similar thing could happen to Man City, where it's like, regardless of whether they get kicked out, I don't think they're going to get kicked out of the football league. But
no, there'll be relegations.
If they get relegated, no matter what happens. Sorry,
boring you am I?
Yeah, it's been a long day. No matter what happens, I think with Man City, there is a huge asterisk under all of the success they've had in the last however many years as a result.
And if you're a Man City fan, you've got to be a little bit kind of not to quote Simon Jordan, ashamed, but you would feel a bit uncomfortable about it.
I don't know. I think I've seen enough of them who are out there
just loving it, and
aping for nation states and being like, hey, look, the state of Abu Dhabi can do no wrong.
Yeah, well, you would say that if they bought your football club. You would say that if North Korea bought Leicester City, it's like, oh, North Korea's amazing.
Oh, Kim Jong, you are just
they're the greatest nation in the world. But that's what it is. But
I'm going to definitely clip that. it's just we end up becoming like megastars in North Korea.
It's about bloody time.
It's about time, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see that. When's Man City stuff going to be starting?
November. Yeah.
Also, it's not long then.
Not that long.
Not long. So we'll keep you guys updated on that, because we can't wait to watch all that stuff unfold. Yeah, but I think that's going to be a long process.
Good old court cases.
Oh yeah.
And I think it'll be Nick DeMarco representing them as well. So.
Hey, you know what? He's earned his money for Leicester, so you know what?
He'll be raking it in.
Oh man,
these lawyers, they must be ecstatic about the amount of over regulation.
I know. I should have gone into sports law. I shouldn't have done I've gone into the wrong profession.
You say that, but these guys are the elite of the elite.
That's true.
So a part of me feels like if people like me and you did go into sports law, we would be like how we are as comedians, where we're just kind of at the bottom rung.
We'll be like Braunston FC. I've got a fence problem. We'll sort it out.
OB Owls.
OB Owls need us to sort out their new cafe. Yeah, we'll sort it out.
I'll take any work I can get.
This is the dream.
I feel like that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah, on OB Owls.
On OB Owls. Well, thank you to everybody who's joined us, and optimism. Here we come, I guess. Depending on the next result, it could just come crashing back down. Honestly, this can either be a blessing or a further stick to beat us. Because if we get relegated, genuinely, this would be so fucking embarrassing.
Oh, if we get relegated, we become Banter FC. Then.
We become Banter FC, yeah.
And
we just have to accept it.
Yeah, we have to accept it.
If that happens, yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to accept it.
We have to accept it.
Which is, I don't want to accept it.
Nope, I don't want to accept it either.
So let's see some results now. And Steve Cooper is one of he's not the bookie's favourite, but he's up there as one of the favourites to be fired by Christmas.
Okay.
I don't want to see that.
No, I don't think we would. We're not that kind of club.
No, we don't sack someone at Christmas. We're not Chelsea.
No.
We don't sack
We're not that kind of club. We usually give managers a fair cop.
Yeah, we give them a season at least. We give them a season and then we see how they do.
Yeah, I mean, look how long God bless his soul, Shaky did. He was there from when Ranieri got sacked all the way till midway through the next season.
Yeah.
Even though that season started off not very well.
Yeah.
But it's you gotta give them a little bit of a chance.
That's it, and you have to. You have no choice. Because it's a project. You need to work on it. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
But yeah, thanks to everybody who's joined us, and we hope. I guess we'll bring the next one to you after the England match.
Yeah, after the England match.
Ireland.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting day.
Yeah, it will be. Well, in the meantime, take care. I've been Zane.
I've been Taryn.
And see you later.
Bye bye.